Welcome to Aircraft Post's The Rousseau Report. I'm Dennis Rousseau. In this session, we're going to be talking about an aircraft in the large jet category, the Gulfstream G4. Due to noise issues and operating economics, Gulfstream conceived the G4 in 1983 as a re-engined derivative of the Gulfstream G3. The G3 was first introduced in 1976, but had circa 1950s turbojet engines and avionics, and was the first business jet to feature winglets. Using the G3 fuselage cross-section, but with a 4-foot plug, a new wing, and turbofan engines, the G4's first flight was 1985, 1 year after its competitor, the Falcon 900, first flew. With entry into service 1987, the G4 was the first business jet to have an all-glass cockpit, the Honeywell SPC-8000, featuring 6 CRTs and dual flight management systems. The aircraft was equipped with the Rolls-Royce turbofan TAE 611 engines that had an inspection interval of 4,000 hours or 10 years, whichever came first. It also had auto throttles, steer-by-wire, and brake-by-wire as standard equipment. Price point new was just under $16 million for the early serial numbers, which is one of the highest-priced aircraft for the time. The majority of G4s had custom completions with 3-zone configurations, accommodating 8 to 16 passengers and an aft galley. The aircraft has a range of 4,000 nautical miles, which gives it nonstop capability from New York to most parts of Europe, the northern part of South America, and Alaska, which allows one stop to Eastern Asia. The G4 has served corporations and governments such as the United States, Netherlands, Saudi Arabia, and Sweden. Then we have special mission aircraft fitted with cargo doors. Between 1987 and 1993, 213 G4s were produced at a price point of $16 to $21 million. To date, 20 aircraft have been written off. Of the remaining fleet, 138 are N-registered, 14 are owned by the U.S. government, and the remaining 21 carry foreign registries. The majority of owners upgraded from the earlier turbojet versions, the G2 and G3. Major airframe maintenance for the G4 is a scheduled 72-month interval unless the aircraft has been converted to the MSG maintenance program, where maintenance requirements are based on statistical analysis rather than a calendar-based system. One major modification for the G4 that was taken from its successor, the G4SP, is the gross weight mod, also known as ASC 190, that costs just over $1 million and increases max takeoff weight, allowing an additional 1,400 pounds of payload, and also increases max landing weight, providing more short-hop flexibility. 17 late model G4s that incorporated this mod were rebranded at the request of owners as G4SPs. So now that the aircraft are nearing 30 years old, how have they fared in value retention? If we consider the fact that aircraft are depreciating assets with a service life of 30 years, a 1990 G4 that costs $19 million new is nearing the end of its service life, at which time the value, depending on accumulated hours, nears salvage value or the sum of the parts, the majority of which usually resides in the engines. Looking at this value trend, the red line depicts a steady year-over-year depreciation. The blue line takes into account market or economic effects on pricing, which in the lead-up to the dot-com boom actually increased pre-owned pricing to a point of exceeding the original cost new. The same scenario played out in the lead-up to the financial crisis in 2008. However, in both cases, once the dust settled, prices readjusted to where a normal market should be, and today, as evidenced by pre-owned pricing, they reflect the 30-year salvage value curve and have an average total time of 10,500 hours. A 30-year-old G4 can be refurbished to the point it's near indistinguishable from the current generation G450, though the cost can easily exceed $1.5 million. Major refurbishment options include the plain deck cockpit, where the 6 CRTs are replaced with 6 LCDs at a cost of $700,000. Broadband internet can add another $500,000. Upgrade to the Dash 150 APU. It provides better airflow in the cabin and more starting power for the engines, another $250,000. Then, of course, we have fans compliance, which can add another $1 million. If our aircraft is worth $2 million, how much more do we put into it before the cost exceeds the value? Airframe maintenance and airframe inspections cost more as the aircraft ages. At what point do we stop putting money into the aircraft? If we take a look at current market activity, we show that there are 10 available aircraft, representing 5% of the available fleet. They're showing a market exposure of 237 days with ask prices ranging from 2.4 million to 3.5. Recent sales over the last 6 months show 7 transactions, selling prices from 1.2 to 3.7, and 265 days on the market. For Aircraft Post's Rousseau Report, I'm Dennis Rousseau. Stay tuned. Next time, we'll talk about the G4SP. Thank you, and we look forward to seeing you.